Aussie soap Home and Away first hit British shores 25 years ago and has continued its success ever since, spawning talent such as Isla Fisher, Heath Ledger and Dannii Minogue, to name but a few. No strangers to the Bay are Kate Richie and Ada Nicodemou. That's Sally Fletcher, who appeared in the first ever episode, and Leah Patterson-Baker, a regular since 2000. Over the years, Sally and Leah have shared many a storyline, including boyfriends, husbands and even children. Ah, Kate and Ada join us now. Look, a little trip down memory lane for you there.
You look so tense watching that.
Oh, we were just going, we are so young. We were so young. Yeah, it's
Well, how old were you when you started?
I was 8 years old when we filmed the pilot.
So that was the pilot. That was in
88.
January the 17th, I think, 1988. And so you have literally been with it all the way through, apart from the break, which we'll talk about in a moment. That must be extraordinary to give something so much of your life.
I suppose so. I mean, what it proves is that it isn't, or it wasn't just a job for me. It was a way of life, and I did grow up there, and I had a wonderful time, and that's why it was so hard to leave, because it wasn't just about, you know, changing jobs. It was about changing a way of life and something that I didn't know. Well, I didn't know who I was without that show. I didn't actually remember what it was like not to work on Home and Away.
Is that why you left? Because you needed to kind of find out who you were and try other things?
Oh, absolutely. And I think what I needed to realise is, do I do this job because I love it, or because I'm so emotionally attached to it and I can't do anything else, you know? So I didn't want to leave. It's the greatest job in the world, but I had to.
So in that break, when you were off, was it something that you looked forward to going back to and thought, do you know what, that's what I am, that's what I love?
In some ways, I think I never thought I would go back. Well, it took me 20 years to get out of there. It took them 20 years to get rid of me. Yeah. And so they're like, oh, God, don't invite her back. She'll never leave. Yeah, look, I went back because the invitation came. It was 25 years, the anniversary of Home and Away. I've done lots of great things since then, and things that have proved I do love acting. I'm not sure I could be at Home and Away forever again, but then, you know, who knows?
Having been there for so long and then taking that 5-year break, when you went back, there must have been so many new faces. Did you feel territorial at all? Like, what are you doing on my set? How very dare you?
Do you know when I felt territorial was when I first left, and I didn't watch the show for a little while because it upset me, you know. I wasn't used to not having it in my life. And then I would turn on the TV and I'd think, who is that sitting on my couch? I don't even know who that person is. So, no, I think when I went back, it was absolutely fine. And there were plenty of and I mean it in the nicest possible way, the old faces as well. So it was lovely. And you know what's lovely about the new faces is that it proves Home and Away continues to go from strength to strength, and
so
all the young kids are having fun.
How long have you been in there now, then?
15 years this year.
And is it the same sort of attraction for you, Ada?
Oh, look, it's a great job. It's one of those sort of well-kept secrets, I think, within the Australian industry. You know, whenever we get a guest character coming on, I'm like, shh, don't tell anyone how good it is, you know, because it's a really lovely job. There isn't a day that I walk into work and go, God, I really don't want to be here today. So
well, it's spawned some extraordinary, you know, sort of people who've gone on to do other things. Russell Crowe, Chris Hemsworth, Isla Fisher, Dannii Minogue, Heath Ledger.
Russell Crowe?
Yeah, Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Very briefly.
Really? I didn't know that.
I think I
way
missed
back
Russell.
in the beginning.
Oh, really, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
You were probably too young, maybe.
Wow,
I wasn't allowed to hang out with Russell Crowe.
He used to be in a band, and he was Russ the Rock. That was his.
Okay.
Russ the Rock.
They don't shy away from storylines, do they? I mean, you've both had a lot going on in your characters, and now it's the 25th anniversary, and I would imagine there is another big storyline coming up for the two of you.
Well, it's Pippa's illness, really, isn't it? The illness of Pippa.
Yeah, and that's why...
Which is your daughter.
Yes. But I gave birth to
This is where it gets confusing.
You were the surrogate.
This is where it's a little bit
because
confusing.
it's important to say that it's a genetic illness.
Yes.
So the fact that you were the one that gave birth to your daughter,
My daughter,
means that makes it that much more complicated.
Yeah, and that's why also Sally comes back and also needs to speak to Leah about it, because Leah's got a son as well, and Leah may be a carrier. So, you know, Leah needs to be aware, and she needs to get her son tested as well.
Well, welcome back. It's lovely to see you. Thank you so much for coming to see us. It is, of course, Channel 5 weekdays at 6 if you want to catch up with what's going on in Home and Away, in the sunshine.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Very much indeed.